just leave it on iPadOS 26. OK, I will leave it on iPadOS 26 and then set a wallpaper. OK, when he's done, set both wallpapers and then typically go into my iOS the next day or stuff like that, and iOS 18 and iPadOS 26 and the iOS 18 and iPadOS and the iOS and stuff like that. But you can also do it iPadOS here, or you can go and just set wallpapers, and then also when it's done, set both wallpapers. You can go back into iOS and iPadOS and all that. Anyways, I haven't set both wallpapers yet, but just for example, this is iOS here, this is also iPadOS here. Take note that we're not be able to put no iOS 18 here until the wallpaper's already set in process. OK, so like I said, just leave it on iPadOS 26, but you have a choice here. You can put it on tvOS 26. If you put it on tvOS 26 and soon as you start up, and it's gonna be tvOS 26 and the whole screensaver, it's gonna to see it. If you leave it on iOS 26, the only way to set wallpaper on default of iOS 26 on your iPhone. If you set customize, that's the liquid glass, and the go back into it, it will play iOS 26 and iPadOS, macOS, tvOS. Right now iPadOS 26 means only you can see it. OK, so I will leave mine on iPadOS 26, and also the same thing, you can go back to the iOS or you can change it, put iPadOS, and also you have iOS 18 down here now. OK. Also you have iPhone or iPad in there. Anyways, once you fill in the iPadOS on iPad and the iPadOS and the iOS 18 on iPhone, and then you can go and make a tvOS 26 and click 2 times in the menu, the whole screensaver gonna see it. OK, now again I typically do is I will set iPadOS 26 to the my iPad, and then do typically go into my iOS later on, and then I will go the iPadOS and the iOS 18 and then make it a tvOS 26 in there. OK, but sometimes I do go to the iPhone and iPad and MacBook and Apple TV and Apple Watch and Apple Vision and stuff like that. You can put the information here, access to the iOS here. I want the wallpaper and tvOS is soon. OK, anyways. Text field. Double tap to edit. Screen record. Like I said, I will typically just leave it on iPadOS 26, and then later on I have time, I will go ahead and actually play iPadOS and then play iOS or stuff like that. iPadOS 26, basically its only view that will be able to view it now. I will keep this on iPadOS 26. OK, now the thing is I will keep mine on iPadOS 26 because you can always change tvOS 26 later on. Will keep on iPadOS 26 because when done, set both wallpapers on iOS, iPadOS. When I get time, then go with iOS here, and then go ahead and play with iOS and iPadOS, and then I will make it a tvOS 26. Screen